Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Lori. Today I'm going to be talking to you about A5 Slim notebook inserts, which is my new favorite size. Last fall in 2024, I picked up my first A5 Slim notebook cover at Louis Vuitton. And while I loved my new notebook cover, I was finding it kind of difficult to find inserts that fit. So over this past year, I have really been on a mission to find these notebook inserts. Now, I feel like going into 2026, there are a lot more options, but I've collected quite a few over the year. And then over the summer, I introduced Louise Carmen into my life. And this has become really my everyday carry, and it holds 4 inserts, which I will talk about in today's video. But if you have ever wondered where to find A5 Slim notebooks or what the measurements are, what even is an A5 Slim notebook, I'm going to go over that in today's video, and I'm going to share with you all of my favorite notebooks from different vendors that I have discovered over this past year. Using a modular system with thinner, undated notebooks for the most part has really given me freedom to curate a notebook system that really works for me. I am sure that I've missed some of the brands that carry A5 Slim notebooks, so if you would like to include those in the comments as part of the conversation, that is always welcome. I was doing a little research yesterday and I saw that Cloth and Paper have some great options for A5 Slim notebooks, and I don't mention them in this video. One of the things I noticed when I was editing was that I don't really focus too much on the amount of pages that are in each notebook. So just keep that in mind when I'm giving prices and when you're thinking about which option might work best for you. I'll try to leave links for the things that I do mention here if they are available. And as always, I hope you really enjoy it. If you want to follow along my analog adventures here, be sure to hit the subscribe button and let's jump right into it. Okay, so why don't we start with some examples of A5 notebooks. This is an Archer and Olive notebook that I'm using for my reading journal this year. This is a classic A5. This is a common planner from Sterling Ink that I used last year as an ink journal. For years, I used the Leutram hardback notebook for my morning pages. Another example of an A5. Sorry for the glare, but this is an MD notebook journal, also A5. So I think many of us are very familiar with the A5 size notebook, but just for reference, I want to show you what the A5 Slim looks like on top of this. So these are the new A5 Slim booklets that Sterling Ink is offering, and I bought a bunch of these when they first were released because I've been using these slimmer inserts for my morning pages, and I will show you an example of those in a little bit. But you can see it's not a big difference, but to me, I just love the A5 Slim. It is like the Goldilocks of notebooks for me. So here's the A5, here's the A5 Slim on top. And then what would be slimmer than this is your insert for your traveler's notebook. So this thin traditional insert, which I should be in here. So here's the Love and Trip insert here. Absolutely beautiful. Saving this for a special day. Okay, so here we are with the Traveler's Notebook Traditional. They are the same in height. So the standard A5 is about 5.83 inches by 8.27. I have a little ruler on the inside of my field note, so it's kind of easy to see. The slim size is about 5 inches. Standard size here is about just under 4.5 inches. So these are the main sizes that I'm in. I like a larger profile notebook, although some of us do work in smaller notebooks. This is the Weeks notebook from Hobonichi, which is slimmer and shorter. And then this is the A6 size. This is the traditional Hobonichi Techo, and I believe this is another version of that. So you can see the difference in the sizes of all these notebooks. It can get so confusing. So these are considered A6 size. This is the Week size, Traveler's Notebook Regular, A5 Slim, and A5. Today, of course, we are focusing on the A5 Slim, and I'm going to show you all of the notebooks that I have. These are my 2 main notebook covers that are the A5 Slim size. This was actually the first time I used an A5 Slim notebook, and this is the gorgeous Louis Vuitton Emily notebook cover in black. And the inside has the canvas monogram. It's just so gorgeous. Neither of these have rings in them, which I kind of like because I can just slip in notebooks as I want to use them. This is one of the inserts I use all the time. I will get into it in a little bit. And then, of course, when I went to Paris, I picked up my Louise Carmen. This is the medium, and it does have a pocket in the back. So this is the Honoré model. The Road Book does not have the pocket, but it has some extra elastic so you can fit more notebooks in here. This is the Portfolio in the Liberty, and these are my inserts. So as mentioned earlier, I have filled up about 11 or 12 of these hardback notebooks from Leutram. These were my tried and true for my morning pages, which is just kind of my way of starting each day. I journal a single page. I used to journal a lot more. I was truer to the morning pages mold, which is supposed to be 3 pages of writing each morning, according to the book. However, I have condensed that to 1 page. These were about $25 to $30 a piece, these Leutram notebooks, and I would go through like 3 or 4 a year. And it was just getting to be expensive and kind of bulky. As much as I loved it, I just didn't think I needed that. So when I went to Paris and I got this notebook, I decided to try out their inserts, which are in A5 Slim. So this was what I got when I was in Paris. You can see I just write every day in fountain pen, ink, a little something. I always include the date. I always include the ink that I'm using, the time of day that I'm writing. It's kind of a ritual for me. I get all my thoughts down. Sometimes I do ink testing in the back. I don't really know what's on here, so I'm just going to cover it. But this particular notebook is a dot grid, and it says date up here at the top. So you see I put the date, the day, and the time that I'm writing. And then over here, I say Cartier Diablo pen is what I used. So I really liked this. I'm just trying to think. I got this notebook June 29th. I started it and I ended it on August 30th. So about 2 months in here. So then when I was finished with that, I didn't want to use all of my Louise Carmen notebooks because they're very expensive. And I only bought a few when I was in Paris. So I decided to move into this, which is Muji, which is the most budget-friendly, fountain pen-friendly notebook in my lineup. I live down the street from a Muji in Boston, so I'm constantly buying this size notebook. They have this version, which has lines, which is just plain. And then they have another version with lines. I don't believe they have grid or dots, which I wish they did. They just have plain or lined, I believe. There's another one. Yeah, this one's plain. And these are like $3.90. It just says slim notebook, plain, A5 Slim, 40 pages, made in Japan, high quality paper. $4, you cannot beat it. I think that the Louise Carmen ones, oh gosh, correct me if I'm wrong, or I'll put the right price on here, but I want to say this is like $19. And then more recently, I started just today or yesterday in my Sterling Ink. These are her booklets. These, I believe, are $13 a piece. And if I can get 2 months in this, that means I'd have to go through 6 of these. So this could still get pricey if you use this every day. I am always going to default to Muji notebooks if I'm trying to save money. And they are every bit as good, in my opinion, as the experience I got with the Louise Carmen. Sterling Ink notebooks are Tomoe River, and the grid work is pretty small on here. So I'm noticing that I'm writing a little bit smaller. At least I was this first day. I was keeping it in the lines here. I got a little bit bigger today, but it's really aesthetic. So I do enjoy this. So these are 64 pages. And this is the booklet again. I'm just trying to see. This is another grid. But you can see I bought a bunch of these with my order because I figured I would get enough to pay for my shipping. So I have a lot to last me. I'm going to use these for the upcoming year. But these are the 3 notebooks that I have used primarily for my morning pages since switching to the A5 Slim size. Oh, this is the lined version of the Muji. So again, $3.90. There's usually a little mark left over when you peel off this sticker. So here I just added a little decorative sticker over it. And the paper works really nicely. You can see this is, I was getting some quotes on refrigerators and stuff, but this is fountain pen ink. I believe that is J. Urban Cacao de Brazil. And look, you don't even see the ghosting through, where with the Tomoe River paper, you do see it. So I actually think the Muji is so great. Now this is another option. I would say this is lowest on the totem pole as far as fountain pen friendly, but also very economical. So these are the Moleskine Caher, Caher notebooks. This is a lined version, and you can get it in a variety of colors, which I really like. This is a plain version. You can probably get dot grid and graph if I'm not mistaken, but this is a great option too. However, I do notice that this goes through a little bit. These are just some notes for a video that I did, but you can see it goes through enough that I don't like to write on this side of the paper. So typically when I'm in this notebook, you'll see that I'm just writing things on the right-hand side here. You can do it over here, but it does have a fair amount of ghosting, borderline bleed through, depending on what type of pen you're using. But you can get a 3-pack of these on Amazon for a decent price. One tip I will say, and I don't mean to take away from small shops, but when I order my Moleskine notebooks, they are always significantly less money. Like I'm talking 30 to 40% less money when I order them on Amazon. The notebook that I've been using for my commonplace notebook is this kind of an odd size. I want to say it's like 4.5 by 7. And Moleskine makes this. So this is their art notebook. And I just have my commonplace stuff in here, which I'm going to go over in another video. This was $29 at my local bookstore, and it was $16 on Amazon. Black Friday is this week. I'm thinking about picking up a couple more of these because I am obsessed with this size. So since we're talking so much about sizes in this notebook, this is an A6 size. You can see it's a little bit wider and about an inch, maybe 1.5 inches taller. But I love this notebook for travel. This is a postcard, I think, from Sterling Ink that I just stuck on the front. Moleskine I find to be really less expensive on Amazon if you're looking for that. Okay, so this year was the first year, I believe, that Sterling Ink came out with inserts in the A5 slim size, so I was all over it. I was online the day that she released all of these, and I ordered everything that I needed. So this is next year's notebook. I'm doing a common planner in the A5 Slim Compact because I don't need as many pages in the back of the notebook anymore because I use this modular system now with my A5 Slim notebooks that I pop in and out. So for next year, my setup will be my booklet for my morning pages. This is really the only planner per se that I have, and I got it in this nice forest green color. I started to set up December and January with some upcoming events that are already on the calendar. I went with a compact. I used to do the full version, but it just got to be too chunky for this notebook. And then the last insert that I always put in here now is like a doodle notebook. So here's doodles and to-dos. This is a Moleskine notebook. I really enjoy having a doodle notebook. This is an absolute mess. So I'll do kind of like my to-dos and then check them off as I go, and then I will bring them over to the next day if it needs to get done. I used to do my to-do list in my morning pages, and I just didn't like it. It felt too workish. Like my morning pages is just kind of therapeutic for me, and then I literally flip to the next notebook and do my to-do list. Next year, I think I might do 2 of these notebooks, keep one as a doodle and one as a to-do. And then it all still fits in there quite nicely in my A5 Slim. I just really love how modular these notebooks are. This has 4 notebooks in there. The road book holds 6 notebooks, and I still have a little space if I wanted to put a couple more in there. 4 in here is kind of my sweet spot. So my morning pages, my planner, my doodles, and my to-dos. That's that. Some other examples of A5 Slim notebooks. This one is a really good one. This is just blank MD paper. This is from the Travelers Company. I like this a lot. The only thing with this is the back cover I often have to cut because it's a little bit taller here and here. So when I go to slide it into a notebook sometimes, it's a little too tall. So you can see here, I've actually cut this down a bit when I slide it in. there's no problem. And this also has the ring here, so you just might want to be careful if you have really soft leather in your notebook. But that also fits in. It's a little, you can cut down this a little bit. Let me just see if I take this out, if I like it a little bit more. There you go, because I used this a lot in this notebook before I started really hunting down A5 slim notebooks. So this is a really nice one. I think this is like $12 to $15. So again, you're just gonna have to cut this down. This has 100 sheets. So if you're looking for a little bit more, you might want to go this route. And I really do like MD paper. I think it behaves very well with fountain pen ink. Definitely better than the Moleskine, but the Moleskine is just affordable and convenient. And I love that it comes in all these little different colors. You can get them in red and black and craft paper. In the hunt for notebooks, I also ordered this Affilate, which is a brand out of Italy. And this is an A5 slim. This is a lined notebook. And I have not jumped into this yet because I want to say this notebook was like $30. But I have been storing it in my Louis Vuitton because they both feel very premium to me. So I had this in here, and I haven't really used my Louis Vuitton all that much since getting my Louise Carmen because it has the elastic so I can put multiples. In my Louis Vuitton, I typically do 2 notebooks. Just go like this, close it, perfect. I used this last year around Halloween was when I got it, and I just did this little elastic around it like this with a key, and it kind of had this nice spooky little Halloween vibe. But this is just absolutely gorgeous. I just haven't been reaching for it all that much this year because I've been so invested in my Louise Carmen. I believe it's Paper Penguin on Etsy who also sells A5 slims. And please let me know in the comment section other vendors you know who sell A5 slim, because more and more people are carrying them. But I just want to review with you my lineup of A5 slim inserts. So we have the MD spiral that you may have to, cut down a tiny bit. This is the Kahar. I know I'm probably saying that wrong. Kahar, which is from Moleskine. And then the Muji notebook, which is the bargain of the century. These are $3.90. I have it. The craft one is plain paper. The gray is lined paper. This is the Affilate, which is a more expensive insert. This is very high quality paper. And this is a chunkier notebook if you want something solid like that. And then, of course, Louise Carmen has their insert as well. And my new favorite is the Sterling Ink booklets, which are just so cute. 64 pages, Tomoe River, a couple colors. But I am a total convert with the A5 slim size. And as long as I'm in my Louise Carmen, I am going to enjoy this modular system. And I think a lot of us in the stationery community get very excited about new things that come out. And I find that when I have a modular system, whether it's in my traveler's notebook or Louise Carmen, or even rings for that matter, if you have a modular system, you can hop in and out of things. You can refresh with new notebooks, new stickers, and it always keeps things interesting. So I will be going over my lineup very soon, which will include different size notebooks and everything that I'm using for my journals in 2026. But the A5 Slim notebooks have really stolen my heart, and I have just had so much fun with them, and I wanted to share with you some of these amazing options that are available in this size. So I hope this was helpful to you. I know it's a little bit scattery, but I will list all of the supplies below. If I have any links, I will supply them for you. Please let me know other brands of A5 Slim notebooks that you enjoy, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you found this video helpful. Definitely comment below and let me know some of the A5 Slim notebooks that you are using in your journaling system, and I'm curious what you will be using in 2026. I have my whole journal planner lineup coming up for you very soon. Then I'm going to take each notebook or journal that I discuss, and I'm going to try to do a deep dive individual video on each. So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe, and I will be back real soon with another video. Take care, everyone.